This is video 15 in the rock excavation exercise. We're on step number 101, and it tells us to select the corridor, open the corridor objects tool, and update the template drop to the newly created benching template. This will cause a reprocessing of the corridor, and we'll close the tool afterwards. So you can do this a couple different ways. I'm going to hit the F4 key on my keyboard. If you can get in here and select a corridor, you're good to go, and you get a heads-up display to do it. And we can go to the corridor creation tools, or you can go over to the project explorer and do the same thing. But I'm going to come to the hammer, open up the corridor objects tool, and open up this first instance, which we have a template drop, and this one is not the one with benching. So what we want to do is we want to change it and put the benching component or benching template in there. To do this, on the right side of your template, you have a button. You can select this button, and it navigates back out to our template library. And we want to pick that 4-lane asphalt type C barrier with the benching word behind it. So we'll select that, and it shows us a preview, and we'll hit OK. And again, it will process. And looks like we're good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And we'll see if we got benching here in a minute. So the next thing we need to do is change the design stage. So again, with that highlighted, we go to our properties, and we can change our design stage of the corridor from preliminary times 10 to a final times 1. And that again will process, and it will take a little bit longer. Now there's a note in step number 102. It says the design stage options appear gray and not seem to be an option, but the reason is they're grayed out is because it resides in a DGN lib. Once the desired preference is chosen, it is written into the file and will appear in a black font. So we saw that. Step number 103 says you can verify the benching is showing up by turning the display of the terrain rock final off in the other view. So I'm going to come over to this other view where we have rock, and I'm going to go ahead and make view 2 active. And with it active, I'm going to go out and open up my reference dialog box. And this, since I have view 2 active, will show me the references of all the different files I have referenced into there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the rock final off. And when I do that, you can see we now have benching. So we have our benching component that has worked wherever we have rock. So that's pretty slick. I'll go ahead and turn that back on, and I will close the reference dialog box. So that was step number 103. Step number 104 says create a new 2D powered GEOPAK file and name it job number underscore XS underscore 2. So this is a 2D file. So we'll go File, New, no wizard, OK. We don't have to change our source file because it defaults to that project, iProject 2D Powered GEOPAK. So all we need to do is change the name, which will be the job number J5U0441G underscore XS underscore 2.dgn. And again, we don't want to leave off our .dgn. So we'll copy that, paste it in our file name area, and then we'll hit the OK button. It'll want us to check in our changes to the last file, so we'll do that. And now we have our blank file. Step number 105 says reference in the following. We need our civil geometry, our corridors, our terrain existing, and our terrain rock final. Reference icon, tools, attach. We're in our data folder. Always like to check that. And then we're going to look for our civil geometry. hold the control key down and pick our corridors, terrain existing, and then our terrain rock final. We'll select those files, we'll add them to the list, and then hit OK. We'll get our default dialogues, we'll go ahead and OK through all 4 of those, and we'll do a fit view. When I close out of the dialog, you can see we have those files attached. And one of the most important parts of this is we're going to just go ahead and hit the F4 key and verify that our terrain existing is set as active. So once that's done, we can now go to step number 106. Create a custom cross-section model using the stack cross-section only preferences. Okay, using the Route 179 again. So go to an area where I can see 179, back over to corridor modeling tools, create cross-section tool, we'll select it. It says locate the alignment. I'll locate the 179 and the profile. The dialog will eventually open. First thing we do is set our preferences. We want to do a stack cross-section only, and we'll load that and close. So once that's done, now we're going to go to our custom cross-sections again. And we're going to select this, and we're going to go make sure our start and stop station 62 plus 00 to 75 plus 00, 100 interval. Now we're going to go minus 280. This is the size of the sheet that we're going to eventually use. This is a 20 scale sheet. So once this is filled out, we'll add that in. Now we're going to change our start stop station for the other side of the bridge. 81 plus 00. Tab down to 138 plus 00. All the other information is correct. Go ahead and add that in. Once that's done, all we need to do is hit the apply button. It will create a model for us with all the cross sections, and where we have rock we'll have benching. Okay, so this tool's done. I've got it out there. I'm gonna go ahead and close it. I don't particularly care to do this. You may, if you're working on a project, you may want to do this. I'm going to say no, and what I'm going to do is zoom in and make sure I can see some benching going on, and I can see that wherever there's rock, the bench is up to the rock, and then our in condition takes over and seeks ground. So it looks like the template worked pretty good, and that's all we need to do on this video number 15. So that concludes video 15.